From translation, TLB, the Living Bible. This 66th day of the year. Today we are reading passages Deuteronomy 24 to 27. Deuteronomy chapter 24, verses 1 to 22. Suppose a man marries a woman, but later decides he doesn't want her, because he finds something about her he doesn't like. He can write her a bill of divorce, give it to her, and send her away. Afterward she may marry another man, but if the second husband also divorces her or dies, and she then goes back and marries her first husband again, that would be detestable to the Lord, and the land he is about to possess will be punished for this sin. You must not bring back her former husband after she has been defiled, for that would be detestable to the Lord, and you shall not bring sin upon the land, which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. When a man has recently married, he must not be drafted into the army or be given any other related responsibilities. He should be free at home for 1 year to bring happiness to the wife he has married. Never take anyone's mill or its upper stone as security, for that would be taking away their livelihood. If a man is caught kidnapping a fellow Israelite and treating him as a slave or selling him, the kidnapper must die. This evil must be purged from among you. Be careful to obey all the commands I am giving you today. Remember what the Lord your God did to Miriam on the journey from Egypt after you had left there. When you make a loan to a fellow Israelite, do not go into his house to demand his pledge. You must wait outside and he will bring it out to you. If a man is poor and has given you his cloak as security, you must return it to him before sunset. He needs it to sleep in during the cold night, for that is the only covering he has. If he cries to me, I will listen, for I am merciful. You must not oppress a hired servant who is poor and needy, whether he is a fellow Israelite or a foreigner living in your land. You must pay him his wages each day before sunset, for since he is poor he needs them at once to survive. If you don't, he may cry to the Lord against you, and it will be counted as a sin against you. Parents are not to be put to death for the sins of their children, nor children for the sins of their parents. Those deserving to die are to be put to death for their own crimes. You must not pervert justice. You must not show partiality to the poor or favoritism to the great, but you are to judge your neighbor fairly. Remember that you were slaves in Egypt, and the Lord your God redeemed you from that place. That is why I am giving you this command. When you are harvesting your crops and forget to bring a bundle in the field, don't go back to get it. Leave it for the foreigners, orphans, and widows, so the Lord your God will bless you in all you do. When you beat the olives from your trees, don't go over the branches twice. Leave the rest for the foreigners, orphans, and widows. When you gather your grapes the first time, don't go back over the vines a second time. Leave the remaining grapes for the foreigners, orphans, and widows. Always remember that you were slaves in the land of Egypt. That is why I am giving you this command. Deuteronomy chapter 25, verses 1 to 19. If there is a dispute between people, they should go to court to have it settled, and the judges will decide the case, acquitting the innocent and condemning the guilty. If the guilty man deserves to be flogged, the judge shall make him lie down and have him flogged in his presence with the number of stripes his crime deserves. But he must not give him more than 40 lashes, or your brother will be degraded in your eyes. Do not muzzle an ox while it is treading out the grain. If 2 brothers live together and one of them dies without having a son, the widow must not marry anyone outside the family. Her husband's brother should take her as his wife and have intercourse with her to fulfill his duty as a brother-in-law. The first son she bears to him will be considered the son of the brother who died, so that his name will continue in Israel. But if the man does not want to marry his brother's widow, she shall go to the elders at the town gate and say, My husband's brother refuses to preserve his brother's name in Israel. He will not fulfill his duty as a brother-in-law to me. Then the elders of his town shall summon him and speak to him. If he persists in saying, I do not want to marry her, his brother's widow shall go up to him in the presence of the elders, take one of his sandals, spit in his face, and say, This is what is done to the man who will not build up his brother's family line. That man's family line in Israel will be known as the family of the unsandaled. If 2 men are fighting and the wife of one intervenes to rescue her husband from his assailant by grabbing the assailant by his private parts, you shall cut off her hand. Show her no mercy. You must use full and honest weights and measures. You must not have in your bag 2 kinds of weights, large and small. You must not have in your house 2 kinds of measures, large and small. You must have honest weights and honest measures, so that you may live long in the land the Lord your God is giving you. For the Lord your God detests anyone who does these things, anyone who deals dishonestly. Remember what the Amalekites did to you along the way when you came out of Egypt. They met you on your journey and attacked your rear when you were faint and weary. They had no fear of God. Therefore, when the Lord your God gives you rest from all the enemies around you in the land he is giving you as your inheritance, you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. When the Lord your God has given you rest from all the enemies around you in the land he is giving you as an inheritance, and you possess it and live in it, then you shall blot out the memory of Amalek from under heaven. Do not forget. Deuteronomy chapter 26, verses 1 to 19. When you enter the land the Lord your God is giving you as your special possession, and you have conquered it and settled there, then you shall take some of the first produce of all the soil of the land, which you shall gather from your harvest, and put it in a basket. Then go to the place the Lord your God will choose for his name to be honored. Go to the priest in charge at that time and say to him, I declare today to the Lord your God that I have come to the land the Lord swore to our ancestors to give us. The priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it before the altar of the Lord your God. Then you shall stand before the Lord your God and make this formal declaration. I have now brought you the first portion of my harvest, Lord. I have given it to you, just as you commanded. I came as a foreigner into this land, but now I own a permanent home here. And you, Lord, looked down upon my suffering and oppression and rescued me from Egypt. You brought me to this place and gave me this land flowing with milk and honey. Now I have brought you the first of the harvest you, Lord, have given me, and place it before the Lord your God, and bow to the ground in worship before him. Then you and the Levites and the foreigners living among you shall rejoice in all the good things the Lord your God has given to you and your household. At the end of every 3rd year, bring the entire tithe of that year's harvest and store it in your towns, so that the Levites, who will have no allotment or inheritance with you, and the foreigners, orphans, and widows living in your towns may come and eat and be satisfied. Then the Lord your God will bless you in all the work of your hands. I have now brought you the first of the harvest you, Lord, have given me, and place it before the Lord your God, and bow to the ground in worship before him. When you have finished setting aside 1/10 of all your produce in the 3rd year, the year of the tithes, you shall give it to the Levite, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, so that they may eat in your towns and be satisfied. Then say to the Lord your God, I have removed from my house the sacred portion and have given it to the Levite, the foreigner, the fatherless, and the widow, according to all you commanded me. I have not violated or forgotten any of your commands. I have not eaten any of it while in mourning, nor have I removed any of it while unclean, nor offered any of it to the dead. I have obeyed the Lord my God. I have done everything you commanded me. Look down from heaven, your holy dwelling place, and bless your people Israel and the land you have given us as you promised on oath to our ancestors, a land flowing with milk and honey. This day the Lord your God commands you to follow these decrees and laws. Carefully obey them with all your heart and with all your soul. You have declared this day that the Lord is your God and that you will walk in his ways, keeping his decrees, his commands and his laws, and that you will obey him. The Lord has declared this day that you are his people, his special treasure, as he promised, and that you are to keep all his commands. He will set you high above all the nations he has made, and you will receive praise, honor, and renown. You will be a holy people to the Lord your God, as he promised. Deuteronomy chapter 27, verses 1 to 26. Then Moses and the leaders of Israel gave the people this instruction. Be sure to obey all the commands of the Lord your God that I am giving you today. When you cross the Jordan River and enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, set up some large stones and coat them with plaster. Write all the terms of this law on them when you have crossed the river, so that you may enter the land the Lord your God is giving you, a land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. When you have crossed the Jordan, set up these stones on Mount Ebal, as I command you today, and coat them with plaster. Build there an altar to the Lord your God, using uncut stones. Do not shape an iron tool to chisel the stones on this altar. Build the altar of uncut stones to the Lord your God, and offer on it burnt offerings to the Lord your God. Sacrifice your peace offerings there, and celebrate the presence of the Lord your God. You must clearly write all these terms of the law on the stones. Then Moses and the priests who are Levites said to all Israel, Be silent, O people, and listen. Today you have become the people of the Lord your God. Therefore, obey the Lord your God and follow his commands and his decrees that I am giving you today. That same day Moses commanded the people. When you have crossed the Jordan, the tribes of Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, Joseph, and Benjamin are to stand on Mount Gerizim to pronounce blessings for the people. The tribes of Reuben, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Dan, and Naphtali are to stand on Mount Ebal to pronounce curses. The Levites shall then declare in a loud voice to all the people of Israel, Cursed is anyone who carves an idol or casts a metal image as a god, detestable to the Lord, the work of a craftsman's hands. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who dishonors father or mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who steals from a neighbor by moving a boundary marker. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who leads a blind person astray on the road. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who denies justice to foreigners, orphans, or widows. and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who has sexual relations with his father's wife, for he violates his father's bed. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who has sexual relations with any animal, and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who has sexual relations with his sister, whether the daughter of his father or the daughter of his mother. And all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who has sexual relations with his mother-in-law, and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who secretly kills their neighbor, and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who accepts a bribe to kill an innocent person, and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who refuses to give justice to the foreigner, the fatherless, or the widow, and all the people shall say, Amen. Cursed is anyone who does not affirm and obey the terms of this law, and all the people shall say, Amen.